You know, we tend to think our solar system is kind of the standard blueprint for how planets should be. You've got your rocky worlds, your gas giants, some icy moons. It's a familiar setup. But it turns out our little cosmic neighborhood is, well, it's surprisingly normal. The worlds we're finding out there across the galaxy, they are on a completely different level of weird, and they're forcing us to rethink everything we thought we knew. So get this, as of right now, we've conferred more than 6,000 planets outside our solar system. 6,000! And yeah, a lot of them fit the patterns we'd expect, but a whole bunch of them, they just seem to defy all logic. They are truly fantastically bizarre, and every single one is telling us something new about just how creative the universe can be. I mean, we are talking about some seriously strange places. Worlds with more than one sun in the sky, planets that are actually hotter than some stars, and even planets that just wander through the galaxy completely alone. So today, we're gonna take a tour of the absolute strangest planets ever discovered. These are the cosmic misfits that really show us just how wild the universe gets. So let's start our journey in the deepest, darkest corners of space with a type of planet that doesn't even have a sun to call its own. These are the rogue planets. A rogue planet is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a world adrift in the vast emptiness between stars. The most likely story is that these planets were born in a totally normal star system, kind of like ours, but then got violently kicked out during the chaos of its early formation. Just try to imagine our solar system having a ninth planet that got flung out into the void billions of years ago. Okay, so that brings up the big question, right? How on Earth do you even spot one of these things? They don't have a star lighting them up, and they don't give off any light of their own. For all intents and purposes, they are completely invisible. So how do we find them? Well, the answer is a totally brilliant technique called gravitational microlensing. And this idea actually goes all the way back to Albert Einstein. It all works because gravity literally warps the fabric of space and time. And even a lonely planet has enough mass to act like a giant cosmic magnifying glass. So here's how it works. You've got light traveling to us from a very distant star. Then, by pure chance, an invisible rogue planet passes directly in front of that star from our point of view. Its gravity bends and focuses the starlight, making that background star appear to get brighter for just a moment. And by studying that little blip of light, astronomers can not only tell a planet is there, they can even figure out how massive it is. It's really like finding a ghost just by watching the way it bends light around it. All right, so from the complete, crushing darkness of rogue planets, let's flip the switch and go to the complete opposite. Worlds that are bathed in the light of not one, but multiple suns. Our solar system is pretty straightforward. We've got one star in the middle, and all the planets circle it in nice, predictable orbits. But it turns out that many, if not most, star systems out there have two or more suns, all locked in this complicated gravitational dance. And trying to have a planet in a stable orbit in a system like that, well, it's a huge challenge. And it creates worlds straight out of science fiction. And yes, a real-life Tatooine absolutely exists. It's called Kepler-16b, and it was the very first planet we ever confirmed that orbits two stars. Now, unlike Luke Skywalker's desert home, this one is a cold gas giant, about the size of Saturn. But just imagine standing on one of its moons and watching a double sunset. It'd be incredible. So what would it actually be like to live on a world with two suns? In a word, hostile. You'd have these insane temperature swings as your planet gets pulled between its two stars. The seasons would be completely unpredictable. You'd be under constant threat from massive solar flares from two directions. And for some parts of the year, you might not even have night. It's a spectacular view for sure, but a dangerously unstable place to be. Okay, so from unstable orbits, we're now going to journey to some of the most extreme environments you can possibly imagine. Let's talk about planets where the weather itself is the stuff of nightmares. We'll call them hell worlds. I mean, we see huge storms on Jupiter, we see the scorching heat of Venus, but that is absolutely nothing compared to what's out there. So what happens when you turn the weather dial all the way up to 11? And I want to be very clear, that is not a metaphor. On this exoplanet, WASP 76, it literally rains liquid metal. The conditions are so mind-bogglingly extreme that iron, which, is a solid rock here on Earth, behaves like water. So how is that even possible? Well, the planet is tidally locked to its star, which means one side is always facing it. That day side gets roasted at 2,400 degrees Celsius, which is so hot it actually vaporizes iron into a gas. Then, powerful winds whip this iron vapor over to the cooler mid side. And over there, at a chilly 1500 degrees, the iron gas cools down, condenses into droplets, and falls as molten metal rain. Raining iron, that sounds about as intense as it could possibly get, right? But believe it or not, things get even more extreme. Could a planet actually be hotter than some stars? The answer is a resounding yes. Say hello to Kelt 9b. This monster of a gas giant orbits incredibly close to its star, and its daytime temperature is a staggering 4,300 degrees Celsius. To put that in perspective, that's hotter than most red dwarf stars. The heat is so intense that molecules in its atmosphere are being physically ripped apart, and the whole atmosphere is just boiling away into space. For our final stop, let's head to a world that might just be the most visually stunning object we've ever found, even if we're still trying to figure out exactly what it is. Astronomers have nicknamed it J1407b, or Super Saturn, and for a very good reason. See, when this object passed in front of its star, it didn't just cause a tiny dip in the light. No, it blocked out an incredible 95% of the star's light. And the cause? A system of rings on a scale that is almost impossible to wrap your head around. To really grasp this, let's put it into perspective. If you look at this comparison to Saturn's rings, it's just no contest. The rings of J1407b are estimated to cover an area more than 40,000 times larger. Let me put it another way. If we swapped out Saturn for this thing in our own solar system, its rings would stretch almost to Earth, engulfing the orbit of Venus. It is an absolutely colossal structure, a true wonder. So, from lonely planets wandering in eternal night, to worlds where it rains iron, to ring systems that defy imagination, what we're learning is that the universe is just so much stranger and more wonderful than we ever thought. Every time we find something new, it feels like we have to rewrite the rules. And it just makes you wonder, with billions and billions of worlds still out there to find, what other unbelievable things are waiting for us to